Yo, what is up guys, Anthony here back with another Destiny Child video, and in today's Destiny Child video everyone, we're going to be overviewing the final event in parts of our Lisa's upcoming scheduled calendar. So if you guys had seen already, we did overview the preview and our expectations for the upcoming Euros narrative dungeon, but if you guys haven't seen that video already, I'll be sure to link it on the top right of this video right now, and of course in the description box below as well, if you would like to see what's coming with the Euros narrative dungeon. Now, as part of this video, we're going to be overviewing the Laufey Ragna Break. As you can see, it will be arriving after the Euros narrative dungeon, so we do have it beginning after the March 11th maintenance up until March 25th until maintenance. So of course it will be a Ragna Break event, so basically we'll be having two back-to-back Ragna Breaks, since we currently do have the Valentine Ragna Break featuring Cirquette and Citri. So instead of going to a world boss trial, we will have a Ragna Break after the narrative dungeon intermission. So of course this Ragna Break will feature Laufey, the fire type healer unit, and of course she will be the boss for the event. And we do have Virupa arriving as well, which will be a water type attacker unit, in which we'll overview both shortly here later on in this video. Now, just before we do overview the units and their skill sets, let's check out the Japanese update note from when they did receive this Ragna Break on the Japanese side of the game. Alright everyone, so here we are on the Japanese blog for the Destiny Child game. Of course, we do have the update note from when they did receive the Season 15 Ragna Break event. Of course, we do have Laufey and the Virupa featured on the graphic here. So you can see they both are 5-star units. We do have Laufey featured on the left hand side and Virupa featured on the right hand side of the graphic. So you could expect both of these units arriving with the Season 15 Ragna Break event. As for Laufey, we do have a picture here of her featuring her full art. I do believe this is her Before Awakening costume, so we do have it featured up on the screen right now, and you'll probably see her like this during your raid as well. Next up here we do have Virupa. Now this will be her Ragna Break costume, so you can obtain these from the platinum chest and probably throughout the Ragna Break shop at its end. So you can probably purchase this for 200,000 Ragna coins, as we do see normally with the events, and you can potentially obtain it throughout a platinum chest if you do get very lucky. Now next up here, they do feature Laufey's kit, so we'll overview this in a bit on the Japanese rice mine tier list. But what we can gather from this, we do have the fire type 5-star healer unit, as you can see the icons here. So it's pretty cool that we are receiving another healer and a fire type 1 at that. As for Laufey's drive skill everyone, let's check it out here right now and see how it does look in game. Alright everyone, so there was the drive skill for 5-star Laufey. So a pretty scary looking drive skill. I do like it a bit more on the dark side of drive skills compared to other units, so honestly do like it a ton for her character. And feel free to let me know in the comment section below what you do think of her drive skill as well. Moving on to more of the Ragna Break rewards, we do have the rewards from what the Japanese side did receive throughout their shop. Now it'll probably change a little bit when this event does arrive to the global version, but you could of course expect to obtain the copies of Laufey throughout the event and manage to uncap her to +3. And the final shop of course will have the costumes as well, platinum chest, the normal for our Ragna Break events. And we do have new gear of course arriving with the event. We do have some equips here featured on the graphic here. Now I'm not sure if these will be any top tier equips. We do have the stats compared to +0 and at +15, but I'm not sure how they will be based on attack or critical, etc. So we'll just have to go off by the numbers for now and see what happens with the equips when they do port over when the event does arrive. As for the bosses you'll face throughout this event, of course we do have the level 1 throughout 10 boss here, the level 11 throughout 20, 21 throughout 30, 31 throughout 39, and the level 40 boss of course being Laufey. As for the pickup summons that will be featured with this event, you of course could expect the guaranteed upon summoning for Virupa here. As you can see, she is featured on the graphic right here, the 5-star water type attacker units. Now she does look somewhat similar to the Miku character, so kind of like a small comparison to them. I do like the hair, in which it does look similar to Miku in my opinion. If we do scroll down a little bit, we do have the actual character arts of Virupa featured here. She does have 2 blades as her weapons, so a nice looking character here, and I'll definitely be summoning for Virupa here on the channel. As for her skill set, we'll overview it in just a bit alongside Laufey. But what we could gather here, of course, it does confirm she is a 5-star water type attacker unit. As for Virupa's drive skill, everyone, let's do check it out here and see how it does look in game. So just as Laufey, a pretty dark drive skill as well. I do like Virupa's just as Laufey's, so make sure to let me know as well if you do like her drive skill. As for the additional banner we could potentially expect to receive with this event, will of course be a dual pickup summon featuring Virupa and Leo. Now of course you could expect both of these units to be featured at a 0.75% rate and all other 5-star childs at a 1.5% rate if this does port over to the global version. Now it would be nice to see Leo on a dual pickup summon, as personally I don't have a ton of copies of Leo, so I would definitely try to obtain some more for my Leo uncaps. As for the new soul cutter, everyone, we do have one similar to this one, so I'm not quite sure on which soul cutter we'll be receiving for the event, as we do have this soul cutter in game already with the Laufey and Kane arts, I do believe. So we'll have to wait and see on which soul cutter will arrive with the global update for the Laufey Ragna Break event. Alright everyone, so there was the update note for the Laufey Ragna Break Season 15 event. Now of course I'll be sure to link the Japanese update note in the description box below, so you guys could check it out on your own time if you would like to see everything that they did receive. Now of course, let's overview Laufey's kits from the Japanese side of the game. Now of course, all of these skills are subject to change, so do take them with a grain of salt, as they can change any of these skill sets for Laufey and Virupa, and of course any future characters as well that we do overview on the channel. Now of course, with Laufey, for her Japanese kits, we do have the 5-star fire type healer unit. As for the tiers she currently does have on the Japanese side of the game, she does have PvE tier 8, PvP tier 8, Raid tier 7, and World Boss tier 6. So you could see that she does excel very well in the PvE and PvP side of the game on the Japanese side of the game right now. As for the auto attack, we do have 96 damage to the target, tap skill 342 damage to the target, and she also does have a plus 950 HP shield. Creates a shield that takes damage before HP is damaged for 10 seconds to 2 lowest pure HP allies. So a decent tap skill here on how she does grant the shield to 2 of your lowest pure HP allies, so she could help a ton in saving those low HP targets that the enemy team will target in the PvP side of the game. As for the slide skill, we do have 192 regen, heal HP every 2 seconds for 14 seconds to 2 lowest pure HP allies. So of course here comes the healing, as of course she is a healer unit. We do also have the 20% life link. Some damage received is converted into HP and sent to the lowest HP ally for 14 seconds to 2 lowest pure HP allies. So something like a Neptune here, we do have the 20% life link. So very nice to have this on a slide skill, so I could definitely see why she is top tier or somewhat close to top tier on the Japanese side of the game for the PvP side, as she does seem to be a very nice healer with the life link on a slide skill. So we could potentially see her tossed onto a ton of mono fire type teams. So we'll just have to wait and see on if the fire type teams do become a meta and overpower the water type teams in the Devil Rumble, as of course the water type meta is all over right now. As for the drive skill of Laufey, we do have 1605 damage to 2 random enemies, plus 2500 HP shield, creates a shield that takes damage before HP is damaged for 20 seconds to 5 lowest pure HP allies. So a very nice drive skill here on how she does have the plus 2500 HP shield, and of course this will be granted to all of your allies for the Devil Rumble match, of course PvE, etc. So a nice drive skill here, I do like that a ton. And of course she does have the 50% life link. Some damage received is converted into HP and sent to the lowest HP ally for 20 seconds to 3 lowest pure HP allies. So a very nice kit here. I do like it a ton, as of course the slide, drive, and tap is not restricted to only fire type units. So very nice to see that she is not bordered to the fire type units. But of course we do have the leader skill, which is tied to fire type allies. We do have the plus 20% regen to all fire type allies. So if you do run a monotype fire team, you could potentially run her as a leader skill, as of course she does grant an additional 20% regen, which will of course be huge to your fire type allies if you are running a mono fire team. But you could honestly just use her on any Devil Rumble team, as she does have a nice life link on the drive and slide skill. Of course she also does have barrier as well on the tap and drive. So overall a very nice kit in my opinion, and we could potentially see her a ton in the Devil Rumble when she does arrive. Hopefully they do not change her kit at all, as of course we recently had the Citri changed when she did arrive to the global version. So of course, like I did say before, do take her kit with a grain of salt, as of course the global devs could change any of her skills at any time. But overall I do like Laufey's kit a ton, as of course I did say a lot already, but she does seem to be pretty amazing for a Ragna Break unit that we can actually uncap to +3 without summoning for at all. Alright everyone, now moving on to Virupa, of course the 5-star water type attacker unit, which will be arriving in part of the Laufey Ragna Break event. We do have her featured on the left hand side of the screen, of course in her live 2D animation, so we can click on here as well and see the animation of her dicing her blade. Now as for her tiers on the Japanese side of the game currently, she has a 7 in PvE, a 6 in PvP, a 9 in raid, and 8 in world boss. So of course you can see Virupa does excel in the Ragna Break and world boss sides of the game, of course being the best in the Ragna Break at a tier 9 for herself. As the auto attack, we do have 114 damage to the target, tap skill 440 damage 2 times to priority target, 400 additional damage 2 times to fire type enemy, of course a counter to Laufey as she is a fire type boss. As for the third bullet point here on her tap skill, we do have a 70% chance to grant time distortion, remove all time debuffs, and increase skill charge speed by 40% for 2 seconds to self raid only. So a very nice tap skill here, and you could potentially be running her on a tap slide rotation, as the 70% chance is very high on the tap skill at a base level 1 rank. As for the slide skill, we do have 961 damage to 3 random enemies, 900 ignored defense damage to 3 fire type enemies, and we do have 5000 fixed damage if buffed with time based buff, deal fixed damage to 3 enemies raid only. So a very nice slide skill here, and she will of course be dealing a ton of damage, as she does have the 5000 fixed damage on the slide, and of course she does have 900 ignored defense damage to fire type enemies, and the 961 damage to 3 random enemies. So a very nice slide and tap for the Ragna Break side of the game, as of course you can see on why she is rank 9 in the Ragna Break side of the game. So a definite summon for this unit, as of course she will be a very nice water type attacker for your raid and world boss events, as you can see already with her slide and tap. As for the drive skill, nothing special here. She does have 2607 damage to all enemies. As for the leader skill, she does have plus 15% skill charge rate to all water type allies, and a -2 cooldown reduction to all water type allies raid only. So a nice leader skill here, as well as she does have the -2 cooldown reduction, so this could be huge in trying to one-shot faster, and of course just trying to get more damage out there overall throughout the Ragna Break event. And of course the plus 15% skill charge rate is very nice as well. So overall, Virupa does seem to be an amazing water type attacker unit, as of course most of the units that do arrive with Ragna or World Boss events do tend to be very top tier, as of course they are counters to the specific element. So you will want to summon for Virupa and hopefully obtain some uncaps for this character. Now if you don't use her in the raid, don't worry, just feel free to summon for her and let her uncap naturally, as of course you'll want to have this unit uncapped for future fire type world bosses and of course future fire type Ragna breaks as well. So I would definitely recommend to summon for her when she does arrive. Now hopefully they don't change her kit as well, as she does seem very strong to counter Laufey and of course future bosses as well. Alright everyone, so very quickly before we do end this video off, let's check out the live 2D animations for these units. We do have Laufey here in her Before Awakening costume, featured on the screen right now. Next up here we do have Laufey in her After Awakening costume as well. As for the spa skin of Laufey, we do have her featured on the screen as well. As for Virupa, here is her human costume, so of course this will be her pact maker whenever it does arrive to the global version, so you could expect to obtain this costume at some point in the future. As for Virupa's Before Awakening costume, here it is. And we also do have Virupa's After Awakening costume. As for Virupa's Ragna Break skin, here it is, featured on the screen as well. And last but not least, here is Virupa's spa skin. Alright everyone, so that'll do it for today's Destiny Child video and of course our overview for the upcoming Laufey and Virupa Ragna Break events, which will of course be arriving after our Euros narrative dungeon. So of course a little bit longer to wait for this event, but something to look forward to, as of course we did overview the potential skill sets and of course content that will be arriving with this upcoming event. Now of course make sure to let me know in the comment section below what you do think of Laufey and of course Virupa, as personally I do like them a ton. But before you go everyone, if you did enjoy today's Destiny Child video, of course make sure to scroll down and leave a like on this video, and if you haven't yet done so already, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the Destiny Child content and of course would like to stay tuned for more of it. But with all of that being said, I'll see you all in the next Destiny Child video. As always, thank you all so much for watching.